Hello and welcome on board my first ever river cruise on SAGA's Spirit of the Danube. This is the first episode in the series. Find out what I thought of river cruising and my first experience of SAGA, and whether I'm likely to book another river cruise or make a booking with SAGA again. We sailed in September 2024 on a 7-night itinerary called Vienna and the Blue Danube. I'm Gary and I've now done 29 cruises on a variety of cruise lines, including Cunard, Silversea, P&O, Princess and MSC. Our SAGA river cruise wasn't cheap, but it does include a UK return travel service. We were both picked up from different addresses and driven to London's Heathrow Airport, Terminal 3, being the sole passengers in our respective cars. There were SAGA representatives at check-in to support anyone who needed assistance. Security was a breeze, and after buying some aftershave in duty free, we boarded via a bus. We were driven on an extremely long journey and through a very long tunnel before boarding the aircraft. Once boarded, we were informed there were delays with the European flights flying overhead. Later, we were waiting for ground handlers, then a slot. Then our slot moved, and finally, after nearly 2 hours, we departed. It was very disappointing SAGA had put us on a flight the same day we were boarding, which is risky. However, to book us on a flight departing at 1500 is reckless, especially when we were delayed by 2 hours. After collecting our bags at Vienna airport and passing through customs, SAGA reps were on hand to greet us and we were escorted to our coach and driven to the ship. It was a nice touch to be provided with a bottle of water on the coach. Upon arrival at the ship, our cruise director boarded the coach and told us to place our bags in our cabins and proceed straight to dinner, as the restaurant had remained open for us, which was a relief. We were told to ignore a PA announcement regarding the safety drill. I thought they would do one later on the next day, but that never happened. I found out later in the voyage there was a safety video which could be watched on the cabin TV. Our late arrival time meant dinner ended up being very rushed. However, the food was good, as was the rosé wine. Fresh bread with a flavoured butter is served at lunch and dinner. I chose the baked coconut shrimp cake, cream of celery soup, pan-fried pike perch fillets. My companion chose the grilled pork tenderloin, and I had chocolate and caramel ice cream. There was a sachet cake available, but having found it extremely dry when I was in Vienna back in 2019, I wasn't going to chance it again. My companion chose the cheese and biscuits, which was disappointing, especially as there was no choice of cheese like on SAGA ocean ships. And don't tell anyone, shorts in the restaurant this evening were permitted. I was excited to be on the ship after a stressful day of travel and our late arrival, so after a quick local prosecco, I went out on deck to explore the ship prior to retiring. Tomorrow, the Spirit of the Danube departs at 5 AM and we head to Durnstein, and there is a castle I need to climb. There is an optional included excursion, but we've decided to do our own thing. Good night. Good morning, welcome to day 2. We both woke early and the ship was already underway, so I went out on deck just after 5 AM to see Vienna as we sailed away. The city had just started to wake too, and the trams were active, transporting early morning commuters. I also caught this nice reflection. After showering, I was back out on deck as we approached our first lock, Durnstein, around 0720 hours, so many passengers were still in bed or in the process of having a shower. We've previously done a lot of boating holidays. I've skippered narrowboats and cruisers on the Grand Union Canal, Norfolk Broads, the Thames and Caledonian Canal, to name but a few. I've also been on a cruise ship as we navigated locks on the Panama Canal and IJmuiden for Amsterdam. I'm still fascinated by the whole process and ingenuity. Grafenstein Lock will see us rise 14 metres or 45.10 feet. How do I know this? SAGA thoughtfully included a fact sheet on the locks. I hope you found that as fascinating as I did. Now it's time for our first breakfast around 08:30 hours. Let's see what's on the menu. I chose some scrambled eggs, crispy bacon, a hash brown and some delicious mushrooms in the self-service buffet. I inquired what sliced fruits were available as listed on the menu and explained I do not like melon. The waiter went off to inquire and returned advising the plate is already made up and there is melon on it and I'll just have to leave that and eat everything else. It was not possible to prepare a plate without melon. Imagine my displeasure at being served what I would describe as a melon platter with 3 grapes and a tiny chunk of pineapple purely for decoration. So an unforgettable dining experience, but not at all for the right reasons. Anyway, we spent a few hours out on deck enjoying sailing under bridges and seeing the bridge of the ship go down and up and even the mast being raised up. Surprisingly, there are 2 restaurants on board Spirit of the Danube. At the aft of the ship is Delta Restaurant, which offers a light lunch and in the evenings a set menu. I like my food, probably a bit too much, so the word light with the word lunch gave me all the motivation I needed to head to the Panorama Restaurant, the larger of the 2 restaurants, in search of what I hoped would be a heavy lunch. Here is the lock information I was telling you about earlier. And here is a useful map sharing the sights you can see whilst underway. Saga river cruises include all-inclusive drinks. There is one bar on Spirit of the Danube. There would often be a wait, although no more than a few minutes during the day, for someone to come and serve you, as the staff were busy multitasking. Even the receptionist will come and help out. We tried the house beer Bitburger, which was nice. The Panorama restaurant, as you may have deduced from the name, offers spectacular vistas whilst the ship is underway. Lunch is also a buffet style. However, there are also a choice of dishes which are ordered from the waiting staff and served from the galley, which is a lot more civilised. Each lunch and dinner time there is a flavoured butter to accompany the bread, featuring flavours including paprika, curry and pesto if my memory serves me correctly. It makes the dining experience a little more special. Today I chose the special of the day, chicken tikka masala, which was nice. For dessert I had the chocolate brownie, which wasn't really a brownie but more of a cake, and unfortunately I didn't really enjoy it. What I did enjoy was the delicious buttery and creamy Chilean Chardonnay. Surprisingly though, the wines served with lunch and dinner in both restaurants remained the same throughout the week. Fortunately, the rosé and white wines were nice, but again, remembering the price we had paid for this holiday, and we're talking similar prices to Cunard Queen's Grill and Silverseas, it's disappointing the wines are not rotated. After all that food, it was time to visit the gym. Yes, Spirit of the Danube features a well-equipped gym, although I never actually saw anyone utilising it, including me. During the morning, we had been told about our first port of call, Durnstein. We arrived around 1400 and an included excursion, a walking tour, was included and would leave the ship at 14:30 hours. You could buy a seat aboard this train for a more leisurely exploration of Durnstein. We opted not to do this excursion and instead headed off to walk up the ruins of Caringa Castle, where Richard the Lionheart was imprisoned during the late 12th century. Durnstein is in the Waku wine region. Durnstein is surrounded by beautiful scenery and steeped in history. Highlights of the town include the medieval lanes, the city gate and inner yard of the town hall. If you walk up to the castle, your movement should activate the commentary from this feature. I haven't included the sound in case it's copyrighted. The walk up to the castle is challenging as the surface consists of steep inclines with gravel. The views were very rewarding. This is thought to be the cell where Richard the Lionheart was imprisoned. This area of Austria is well known for growing apricots, and we experienced our first ever apricot ice cream. Highly recommended. I was also looking for Wacha Torte, walnut cake. The lady in the shop didn't speak English, and I don't speak Austrian, so perhaps this walnut cake wasn't what I was looking for. but I haven't had the best of luck with cakes today, as neither of us enjoyed this one. The ship departs for Linz at 1900 hours tonight. We were certainly tired after our climb up to the castle and walk around the village, where we also sampled and purchased some wine and apricot liqueur. Now it was time to change for dinner and a captain's welcome on board drink.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you official welcome on board. My name is Nelu, I come from Romania, and we will sail together from Vienna till Passau and back. Vienna around 600 kilometers, around 18 log, and I wish you to have a great cruise sailing with us. Thank you and cheers.
A very short and sweet welcome as the captain headed straight out to cast off our lines and we departed for Linz, famous for its Linzer torte. Hopefully this cake will not be left wanting. The drinks offered were Prosecco or Kir Royale.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell me, you know who Lionheart is?
Yes.
Yeah, that castle. I had to go upstairs. Yeah, you went?
Yeah, I went today.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who didn't go upstairs.
You didn't. It's very.
But it's true?
It's very like this.
But it's true.
Each night prior to dinner, our cruise director Marie provides a briefing on the next day's activities and excursions. We're off for an optional excursion to discover Salzburg, whilst others partake in highlights of Linz. Disappointingly though, we miss out on an apple strudel and ice cream party being held on the sun deck between 1500 and 1600 hours, as our tour doesn't return until 1730. Not really fair to plan that when not all passengers are present, Saga. For dinner this evening, I chose chicken Caesar salad, cream of paprika soup, pan-fried fillet of salmon. My companion chose pink roasted veal loin, and we followed this with coffee and Amarena ice cream. We then retired to the Panorama Lounge, where I enjoyed a Rob Roy, and we watched another ship come alongside as we transited a dock. You can see how quickly the ship is raised up. I haven't speeded this up. So, as I close this episode, it's time to reflect. The staff are really nice and work extremely hard. On the whole, the food is good, as are the included drinks. I really enjoyed cruising on the river today, and transiting the locks is fun. We enjoyed our momentous climb up to the castle, especially as we ascended and descended safely, as it is quite treacherous. Because the ship only carries 182 guests, it feels intimate, but it's spacious and full of natural light too. We've been immersed in the scenery, whether in the restaurant, lounge or our French balcony cabin, due to the large floor-to-ceiling windows in most areas. Of course, not everything is perfect, and you'll have seen the areas I've highlighted where improvements may be made. Before you go, it would mean a lot to me if you'd subscribe to my channel. That way you'll be notified about the next episode, and my channel may also be shared with others interested in river cruising. If you could like this video too, that shows YouTube it's worth suggesting to others interested in Saga or a Danube river cruise. Thank you for watching. I wish you fair winds and following seas.